If you want to level up and unlock the hottest, highest, and happiest version of yourself, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to today's episode of Hot and Unbothered. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my podcast. If you're new here, my name's Brianna Gomez, and I am your host of Hot and Unbothered. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whatever brought you here, you are here for a reason. Whether this is on your explore page, on your recommended, whether you are a follower, ride or die Hot and Unbothered queen, you're meant to be here listening to this message. There's a reason why you clicked on this episode. So do me a favor while you're here, just go ahead and lock it in. Hit the follow on the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes, because if you are dedicated to fully committing to your overall life glow up, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual glow up, lock in. This podcast is to truly help you level up your life and unlock the highest version of yourself, where you feel your best, look your best, think your best. First of all, how are you guys doing? Because I personally just got off a flight. I got a crazy opportunity to go to Las Vegas for a photo shoot. That was the first time I've ever been flown out for a photo shoot, and I just think it's totally insane. Literally proof right before your eyes that you can manifest anything you want, because I used to dream of that. They paid for everything. They paid me. They paid for my food. They paid for my flight. Everything was literally a dream come true. It was so much fun. And like the whole time I was there, I was just like, I am so grateful, because I kept thinking to myself just a year ago, where I was so lost and I knew what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be, but I really had no end in sight. I felt like the finish line was so far away. Obviously, I haven't reached the finish line yet, obviously, but I'm taking baby steps, and I see little things now in my reality that are getting me one step closer to where I want to be. So just seeing little things like that happen before my eyes, like getting flown out for a photo shoot, is such a big deal to me. I don't know, to other models or creators, that might be their everyday, their regular plain old Joe, but for me, that is a huge deal, and I don't know when I'll get the opportunity to do that again, but I am so grateful that I did, and everything ended up working out, and I truly believed if I weren't able to go, then it wouldn't be meant to be, but everything, it was a last minute thing, but it all worked out. All the pieces fell into place, and it was a really fun, cool experience, and it reminded me that I do want to do stuff like that. I love my podcast, I love creating content, but modeling and stuff too is also so fun for me. I love anything where I could be creative, and stuff like that is just so cool to me. And it reminds me of the time, back in 2020 during COVID, I was trying to submit to modeling agencies with my little self-timer front camera. The photos were horrible. I didn't even get rejected. I just got ghosted. No one even wanted to respond to me, because I did seem like a little girl who got into her mom's phone and just wanted to start submitting pictures to agencies. That's literally what happened. And then if I could just go back and tell her hey, chill out, everything's gonna be fine. Even if these ones didn't respond to you, there are plenty of fish in the sea, plenty of opportunities waiting for you. So that's just my little reminder for you guys going into this week. Just because something isn't going your way in the moment and it's not happening for you instantly, we're so used to that instant gratification, like I've said in my other episodes, things take time. All good things take time, and you have to be patient. Life and all the blessings that are coming your way are a gift. Imagine if it's your birthday, and at your grown age, you're sitting at your birthday party okay, where are my gifts? I'm ready to open them, and you're just being so impatient and rude. That's not how it works. Think of everything that's coming into your life as a gift, and let them come and go as they please. I'm at the age where I don't expect birthday gifts from my friends or anything anymore. I feel like it's more like a little kid birthday party thing. But if someone brings me a gift, I'm wow, this is so sweet and thoughtful. I don't ask for anything, but whatever they get me, it literally always ends up being perfect and just feels like it's meant for me. And that's how you have to think of the blessings in your life. They are truly gifts. So don't be rude and be where's my gift? No, be patient. It will come to you. But I totally get it, and I experience it firsthand on a daily basis, quite literally, that when things aren't happening for you the way that you thought and hopes they would, it can get very, very discouraging. And it can feel like you want to quit. It can feel like you're upset at yourself, and you're upset at God or the universe for why is it not working out for me? I put so much effort into this. I want this so badly. Why haven't I gotten it yet? And a huge part about staying consistent and being able to persevere through those times where things aren't truly going your way is staying positive. It truly is all about perspective, and staying positive is quite literally how the universe rewards you. You know, if you stay positive and you persevere through all the negativity, through all of the, tough times when it feels like things aren't working out your way, if you can still remain positive and maintain that positive attitude, that bright attitude, life will reward you and you will be so happy and content with what you have right now that you won't even be in a rush to get to the finish line because you'll be present in the moment, appreciating the things that you do have. And once you flip that switch, you realize that where you are right now in this moment is where you're meant to be. So today's episode is about how to be positive and how having that positive attitude will truly help you be happy. And happiness is such a vague term. Like, yeah, I'm happy. Like, ask anyone, like, if they're happy. I'm sure a lot of people, they might just say yes. But, like, if you really think about it, there are actually a lot of people who aren't truly happy. And I was at a point in my life a couple of years ago, honestly, maybe not even. And I was not happy. On the forefront, I was very, very happy, bubbly, energetic. Like I was always that girl. I appeared very confident, but I was not happy with myself. And I was not living the life that I wanted to live. I was not treating myself or talking to myself with love. I was quite literally in a very destructive state. But I put on that forefront where everyone always thinks like that girl's happy, like she must be really happy deep down, because I was always high energy, I was always bubbly, I was always positive. So everyone thought I was happy. But deep down, I was not really happy. I think I maybe was overcompensating, and that's why. And I was very aloof all the time because I didn't even want to be alone with my thoughts. So I was just like so bubbly and happy. But finding and achieving true happiness obviously is not a step-by-step tutorial guide. I'm not going to be like, okay, you need to do this and this and this every day, morning routine, night routine, and then you're going to wake up happy the next day. It's not that simple. There's so many factors that play into being happy. And sometimes, there's obstacles in life that we cannot avoid. It just happens. I wish I could tell you why, but it's just part of the journey. It's part of the learning and healing process. Sometimes we might lose a family member. Sometimes we might lose a job. Sometimes friendships or relationships might end, or they might be toxic or abusive. And I'm so sorry that has to happen for all of us. Every single human that you meet on a daily basis, they might seem like the happiest person in the world, but I guarantee you, they are going through something, or they have gone through something. So never feel like you are the only one who's going through things, because I guarantee you everyone has or is going through something as well, even the most positive person you know. And so I wish I could tell you, flip this switch in your brain and then you're going to be happy. Unfortunately, I love you guys so much. I don't have that answer for you right now. If I figure it out, I will give it to you, but there's no step-by-step tutorial on how to be happy, but it truly is perspective. Flipping that switch, rewiring your brain to where bad things can happen to you. You can get sad, you can get upset, and then you're like, okay, let that sink in, let that moment pass, take that lesson in and heal, and then learn how to move on. Don't let those obstacles in your life hold you back from reaching that happy end goal, the place and the moment you are meant to be in. So to the best of my ability, I'm going to tell you guys how I try my best to remain positive and stay happy and, learn how to overcome obstacles, because life is not easy. Life is very, very hard sometimes. But, sometimes it's just not that deep. And so I'm going to tell you how I personally stay happy. Again, some of us struggle with depression or anxiety, things like that. And although I might not have the remedy for that, these are just little things that I do or think of in my day-to-day life that help me personally remain more positive, because I've gone through my depressed stages. I get very, very anxious. It used to be really bad to the point where I can't sleep. And I still try my best to remain positive and happy throughout all that. So this is just my 2 cents. Again, I know it's not that easy for everybody. This is just how I stay positive. But before we dive into today's episode, you guys know I love to share a podcast review. You guys have just been absolutely blowing me away with your support and your comments and your reviews. Like, I am so grateful. I just got chills. Like, I can't. The feedback on this podcast is insane right now. I don't even care if I had just one listener to know that I'm touching someone the way that you guys are making me feel. Like, I'm mind blown. Today's podcast review is from Risa. She said, I just started watching your podcast and I'm so in love with them. They help me feel inspired and empowered. I feel like I finally have the power and ability to change my life in the situation that I'm in. I've binged all your episodes and truly feel like my life is already changing for the better. Your energy is so amazing. Please never stop what you do. You truly are an inspiration. Here come the waterworks. I say this in every single episode, so you guys are gonna get sick of me, but your reviews actually make me so happy I could cry. Like, if I could go back even 6 months ago and tell myself that my podcast was gonna be reaching people the way it is, like, mind blowing. Anyway, staying positive is truly, like I said, all about your perspective. So you have to kind of, and this is going to sound cheesy, develop the glass half full mindset. That's what literally got me here. That's just the way my brain's programmed. I don't think it's really necessarily something that I had to learn ever, but people are always like, how do you have so much energy all the time? How are you so happy? How are you so positive? And I'm sure you've all heard of the glass half full or empty analogy, but in case you haven't, because maybe it's not as popular as I think it is, think of a glass of water. If it is filled to the halfway mark, in your mind, do you call that half full or half empty? Because scientifically, by definition, it's equally half empty and half full. It's at the halfway point. But like, if I look at a glass, like, I'm like, that is half full, you know, and it's not actually about a glass of water, but any situation in life. Say you get really sick one day. That sucks. You are sick. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, you have to call off work, but like, wait, I get to call off work. I get to stay in bed and watch Netflix and my favorite shows all day. I get to relax, get some much needed rest, stay at home with my cat or my dog, whatever pet. You know what I mean? Like, there is good behind everything. And that's truly what I believe. Obviously, there may be some obstacles in life that are exceptions to that. For the most part, I believe that there can be a good reason found behind literally almost everything. And a huge aspect that plays into developing a positive glass half full mindset is realizing that some things, actually all things, are pretty much just out of your control, and you have to stop trying to control them. And I have not perfected this yet. You know, there's many things that I still can be a control freak about, and I want to manipulate the situation and make things go my way. But once you realize that you really can't do that in most situations, and that, you know, say you're stuck in traffic, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to get out of your car and start directing the traffic? Are you going to go put on like a neon crossing guard vest and stand there and start directing the traffic? Are you going to go get out and start pushing the cars physically with your hands? There is nothing you can do. So when you're stuck in a situation that seems really shitty, realizing that there's nothing you can do in that moment to change it makes it honestly a lot easier. There might be an actual name for the next concept I'm going to mention. I'm not too sure what it is. So if you know, let me know. Please tell me. But it's the idea that when you are stuck in traffic, that is actually kind of like a butterfly effect almost, that is like keeping you where you're meant to be. Say you're stuck behind a car that's driving super duper slow. I used to try and like speed ahead and go cut it off and, you know, maybe flip it off. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But, you know, you speed ahead, you cut the car off, and you try to get in front of them. When in reality, what if being in behind that car that's going so slow is keeping you from a car accident? Like, if you would have gotten to a certain light like 3 minutes earlier, what if there was an accident there? Or what if an ex or a person you really didn't want to see was walking out of a store at the same time you were about to be going in, but instead there was a little traffic jam in the parking lot, but that saved you from running into them? Or what if your favorite celebrity is at this restaurant or what if your favorite celebrity is about to go to this restaurant you're trying to get to, but you are, you know, stuck waiting for the bill for so long and the waiter's taking forever? I don't know, it might sound kind of silly to you, but I started trying to think like, wait, what if this is where I'm meant to be? And being a few minutes later or earlier is not going to kill you. So I'm trying to practice being more patient with things. You know, like if I'm stuck behind a slow car, maybe this is leading up to the timing of something else working out perfectly. And you know, that might not always be true. Maybe I really am just stuck in traffic, but having that mindset is kind of fun for me. And you know, you could think of all the different possibilities of what could be waiting for you. Oh my gosh, it's like when your boyfriend's running late somewhere and you're like, He's just running late because he's getting me flowers. And then he shows up without flowers anyway, but like the idea and the thought of it was fun while it lasted. So while you can't change things when you are actually in the situation, it's also really helpful to realize you are never completely out of options. You get to make choices every single day. You get to choose what time you wake up, and that can affect whether you are running late or running early. Like, stop trying to blame you running late for work. I am in such a bad mood when I'm running late for work. It drives me insane. I feel like it's just a rainy day. Like, the whole day is ruined if I'm running late because, I can't make my breakfast. I don't feel cute. I didn't pack my water bottle. Like, everything feels messed up, and I feel grumpy and grouchy. And I'm like so mad at the world and at the people around me. I get irritated really easily. Like, I get so overstimulated, it's bad. But then when I actually think about it, I'm like, why am I so mad? This is literally my fault. And you can kind of laugh it off. Like, don't get mad at yourself because it's something like easy like that that's totally in your control. Like, I'm the one who stayed up late last night on my phone, and that's the reason why I overslept, whatever. Like, I did that to myself when in reality I could have gone to sleep earlier or set my alarm 5 minutes earlier. I would have been on time. I wouldn't have been in a rush. And then you can kind of laugh it off and say, you know what? I'll fix this tomorrow. And that helps with bettering yourself too. I think it's like kind of gentle parenting yourself. Like, I'm not yelling at myself or yelling at the world anymore. Like, I'm so mad. I'm so pissed off. But I'm like, LOL, I made a mistake and it's my fault. What am I going to do about it? It's too late now. Like, when I'm running late for work and I'm sitting in the car and I'm stuck in traffic and I'm about to be late, like, okay, there's nothing I can do to get that time back. So why am I so stressed out and anxious and like mad about it and mad at other people about it? Like, I'll be getting mad at like the door for not closing right. You know what I mean? Like, it's no one else's fault but mine. So realizing that and that you actually are capable of making changes in your life to avoid some little obstacles happening and making your life easier, that does help. And then you can actually implement those changes. Like, I'm going to start waking up earlier so that, I'm not running late and not pissed off, or I'm going to go to sleep earlier so I wake up less grouchy and well rested. So realizing that you do always have a choice, you are never totally stuck. I know that can be a hard message to reach you if you're in a place where, you're in a dark place mentally, or you're super anxious, or maybe you're depressed. It's hard to really wrap your mind around that concept, but you do have a choice. Even if you are like super sad, you're super heartbroken, you're upset, like, you have the choice to go walk outside, take a walk where the grass is greener. You know what I mean? Like, you have the choice to go journal about your feelings. Like, you are never fully stuck. Although our brain might trick us into thinking we are stuck sometimes, I promise you that you have a choice and that there are certain little things you can do throughout your day that will make it a little bit brighter. And that brings me to my next thing. Romanticize literally everything. I get excited about everything in life. I have days where I'm excited to wake up in the morning. It sounds so stupid. Like, I wake up like I'm Barbie in the Barbie movie scene, like the first opening scene. That's me. And I don't want this video to come across as blindly optimistic. I actually get very, very sad and depressed sometimes. Laugh out loud, but you know what? Like, overall, I obviously go through human emotions. Like, I am not perfect. I am not always happy. I get sad very, very often. I'm very sensitive. I'm very emotional, but I try to navigate my daily life for the most part with a positive mindset. So getting excited about the little things really does help me. And it's a blessing and a curse, I think, because, I get excited about small plans like getting food with a friend, but then like if that friend bails and it's like, damn, I was looking forward to that. But then I'm like, okay, look on the bright side. Now I have a free night to myself and I get self-care night. There is truly good about everything. If you get stood up for a date, that's his loss, first of all. And then it's not meant to be. Like, dodged a bullet. Like, breakups, everything, fights, arguments, dodged a bullet. If you get in a really bad fight with a friend or a coworker or whatever, it's like, I am so glad that you just showed me your true colors. Like, thank you. Thank you for doing that because you just saved me so much time and energy on a friendship or relationship that clearly is not worth it. Back to getting excited about things like romanticize your life. every single day. Like, wake up in the morning freaking excited to be there. Like, make your bed, listen to your music, open the windows, please. Vitamin D, sunshine is literally food for the soul. And if you don't believe me, just try it. Like, sit in the sun. It's so good for you. It will make you happier. I promise. If you are having a really sad, horrible day, at least go have a sad, horrible day in the sun. It'll make you at least 1% better. But like, treat your life like a movie. I know it sounds so silly and cliche, but like, live life. Like, who cares? Like, if someone looks at you like, why is that girl so happy? Why is she singing in her car? Like, who cares? They are just jealous that they can't see the glass half full in the way that you do. Like, when I see someone like really happy and like dancing around, like, okay, yeah, I'm like, for a second I catch myself like, maybe they're a little weird, but then I'm like, wait, they are just living life. And why are we mad about that? Like, why do humans get so confused when they see someone just like vibing and standing out and enjoying their life, and we look at them like they're weird? But we're just jealous that we can't be like that carefree, that detached from the opinions of others, that we're like so afraid of what people think. And like, we think it's weird when we see someone else like being happy and thriving and living life. But like, I'm just jealous, actually. And I'm sorry. And detachment plays a huge role in staying positive, because when I'm so attached to an idea or an outcome of something, it's very easy to get upset when it doesn't go your way. So, say there was a job that I really, really wanted more than anything, and I'm just hanging on to it. I'm clinging on to that idea for dear life so rigidly that it's like I'm a stick in the mud, that I'm not even letting like blessings flow in and out of my life. I'm actually blocking my blessings because I'm so hyper fixated on this one outcome. And then that falls through. I don't get the job, it flops, it doesn't work out for me, and I am completely crushed because that was my only option I saw for myself. Fast forward a few months, oh my gosh, I'm an influencer. Oh my gosh, I have my own podcast and I'm helping people on the internet who don't even know me, but I'm touching their lives. Detachment is important because you have to place yourself in a state of receiving. You have to be standing there with open arms, like to the universe and to God, like, I am ready to accept whatever gifts and blessings that you have for me that you think are best for me. Because sometimes you don't know what's best for you. And so instead of being so mad that something didn't go your way, be like, I am glad that that opportunity is passing me because I know it's making room for something else, something even better and bigger. Taking rejection as redirection, as I always say, is so important when it comes to detachment. Like, how are you going to stand there and be like, I need it to happen this way, it needs to go X, Y, Z, and it needs to happen like this. And then it doesn't go your way and you're upset. But there could be something even better happening. And an analogy that my boyfriend actually painted out for me is a vision. Visualize this, like God, and he's taking away this little girl's small teddy bear. And he's taking away from her and she's crying because that's her teddy bear. She wants it so badly. She's attached to it, obviously, as we are. And so she's crying, but she doesn't know that behind his back, he's about to hand her a giant teddy bear that's 10 times better than the one that she had, and she doesn't even know that it's coming yet. And so that's the way that I'm now trying to think of things that come and go in and out of my life. Like, if they're meant to be in my life, they will be. And if they're taken out of my life, it's making room for something new and better. When I come across bad situations or bad people, like, I try to turn it into a lesson, and that's a huge aspect. Turning everything into a learning situation and a learning experience is just such a game changer. Even my last horrible toxic relationship, which I don't even know if I'll ever get into on here. I definitely want to, but a lot to unpack. Anyway, my last relationship was horrible and toxic and emotionally abusive and draining. And if I weren't able to, one, laugh at it now, but also take a lot of it as a learning experience, because I could take that as defeat. I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm a victim. Like, this was so horrible, which it was. And I'm not taking away from that, but it taught me what I will and won't tolerate now in future relationships, romantic and even with just friends and with people in general. Like, it taught me the red flags to look out for. It taught me things that I didn't even know, like, were something to be cautious of, but now I know. Coming out of that relationship, like, part of me could be like, oh my God, like, that was a waste of 3 years and I hate my life and why did this happen to me and why did I have to ever meet him and I wish I never fell in love. But like, no. That was a huge learning experience for me, and I believe it was very crucial to the development process of me as a person. And so taking everything as a lesson and a learning experience is just such an eye-opener. And even if you think that's cheesy or stupid or unrealistic, like, bad things are going to happen in your life regardless. Like, that's something you have to accept. Bad things just happen in life. There might not be a reason, like, it just happens. Would you rather take the glass half full or the glass half empty approach? Because you're going to be miserable if you take the glass half empty approach. Why would you choose that path? Even if realistically that is how it is, why do you want to choose that for yourself? Like, I would rather live in my brain where it's sunshine and rainbows most of the time, not all the time, like I'm not delusional, but I'd rather live in my brain where I can see things positively and take things as a lesson and a learning experience versus be miserable all the time and moping around and feel like the world hates me and everyone around me hates me and I hate my life. Like, no, I know people who have gone through horrible, horrible things in life, and their mindset and their positivity is literally what saves them and gets them through the end of it. And mindset is so powerful. If you don't believe in positive affirmations, it's so true. And there's the analogy of the rice affirmation. So there was this test, and I don't even know how this is true. I really don't get it. Look it up if you don't believe me. But they have two basically containers of rice. One of them was called the love rice and one of them was called the hate rice. And they would write like, I love you and I hate you on the rice. And they would say it. They would say like positive affirmations, like I love you, to like nice things to this rice. And then they would say it like mean things to this poor container of rice. There's two separate containers. The love rice was fresh and the hate rice rotted so much quicker than the love rice. Look it up if you don't believe me, guys. I just unlocked a memory for myself because I actually forgot about that study, but look it up. It's crazy. Try it for yourself because I'm actually curious if that works. That's just proof that the thoughts and energy that we feed and put out into the universe, it is so powerful and transferable. So you have to feed yourself positive thoughts. Fake it till you make it, okay? If you are a negative, pessimistic person, it's not that easy to be like, oh, I'm an optimist now, but fake it till you make it. You know, even if you're like saying like positive affirmations in the mirror, like I love myself, I love my life, and you feel stupid doing it, keep doing it. It's not going to change overnight, but you just have to give it a try. Literally feed yourself that information until you believe it's true, because your brain will still take it in. Your brain doesn't know the difference. Trick your brain into becoming optimistic. And another thing about being an optimistic, positive person, it's not easy to show up like that every day. And being positive doesn't mean you're never allowed to be sad. So I want you to clear that from your head. But again, it's about how you approach those situations of sadness or defeat or being upset or those obstacles. It's all about the approach and your perspective. I want you to practice speaking less negatively into the universe. Like, I catch myself saying things like, oh, like I hate that, or like that sucks. And I'm like, is that even true? Really look into the weight of your words and what you're actually saying. I saw these girls who they started looking up the textbook Google definition of words and emotions and adjectives before they actually spoke them into existence. Like, for example, I could be like, I am so crushed that I didn't get this job. Am I really crushed? Am I really smashed down into pieces to a point where I will never recover? No. Am I a little surprised? Am I a little bummed? Absolutely. But I am not crushed. I am not ruined or destroyed by the fact I didn't get that job. Or like when you're like, oh, like I'm heartbroken. Like, no, you're not broken. You might be so upset and confused and angry at that person's behavior, but you're not broken. So this week, I want you guys to practice when you're thinking an emotion or a word in your head, be like, is that even true? Have you guys ever been in those like social situations where you'll be like, I'm hungry or I'm cold, just to break silence, but you're actually not even hungry or tired? Like, I used to do that so much when I was younger, but I'm like, why do I do that? Why am I filling silence with complaining? Like, that's why people say like, oh, it's such a beautiful day out. Like, I'd rather say that than say something negative. And another thing that plays into positivity is to stop being so judgmental towards other people. And I just reminded myself of that because that made me think of the kind of people who say rude things about other people and bring them into the conversation or their name into the conversation because they're not interesting enough themselves. Like, honestly, why are you talking bad about other people? Even if there is something bad to say about them, like, how old are we? Why are you gossiping and why are you hating and bringing this negative energy into your life and into your conversation and your relationships? Because it's so ugly. The girls who are constantly gossiping or judging, like, you have to look at life and flip the switch so you start seeing things that are beautiful about people. Like, instead of looking around and being like, ugh, like, it's such an ugly, boring day out. It's not boring, it's peaceful, it's quaint, and like, enjoy it. You know what I mean? And stop being jealous. I feel like some girls, they get intimidated or they feel like they don't like a girl because she's really pretty, but they're actually just jealous. But instead of feeling jealous, why don't you try to become her friend? Why don't you compliment her? Something I heard is that you should never keep a nice thought to yourself. And I'm trying to practice that. I'm working on it because it can be scary to approach people randomly. If I see a girl's skirt, or if she looks really good, or her makeup is amazing, or if I love someone's outfit, like, I'm going to compliment them. Because why would you hold that positivity within yourself when you literally have the power to go make someone's day? And that's the power of positivity, is that you are in control of making people happy and spreading good energy. Like, you have that power within you. And I don't know why so many of us aren't utilizing it. Like, you literally have a superpower, and it's to make people happy. And so when people ask me, how am I so positive and happy all the time? Like I said, I'm not. I truly think that the meaning of life is love. I think it's all love. Like, the universe is love, God is love, like, everything is love. And I don't necessarily mean like just falling in love, like a relationship with another person. I think that's a huge part of it, but I just mean love in general, like worldly, universal love. Obviously, there's always going to be conflict in the world, which is so horrible, but spreading love in any way, as much or whenever I can, it will make you feel so good. And if you truly operate from a place of love, you will not feel hatred. There is no lack in life when you are operating from love. And that is just like, it sounds so hippie of me, but there seriously is no lack when you're operating from love, because love is so fulfilling. If you are always filled with love and good positive energy, how are you going to be hateful? You know what I mean? Like, it's impossible to hate the world when you are filled. And you can't say there's no love in the world or positivity or happiness in the world, because you're filled with it and you're in this world. So there will never be no love or light in this world as long as you keep it coming. Again, I don't expect you to be positive and happy 24/7 all the time. Things happen, shit happens. We are going to get sad. Mental illness or mental roadblocks or sadness can be such huge obstacles. But again, it's all about working with what you can and staying as positive as possible and trying your best to maintain that happy perspective as much as you can. No matter what you're going through, things are going to get hard, but like, your mind and your mindset and your positivity has to work even harder. And just remembering that everything happens for a reason, and you are where you are meant to be, and nothing that is meant for you will ever pass you by. So stop freaking out and being like, oh my gosh, this isn't working out for me. Like, I'm gonna freak out, getting stressed out. So instead of getting so upset and annoyed when something doesn't go your way, remember that nothing that is meant for you will ever pass you. And it's honestly not that deep. It's never that deep. Like, I need to try to laugh at myself sometimes. I'm working on it, because I get so sad sometimes, especially on my period. Oh my gosh, I get so depressed. But like, trying to remember that nothing is really that deep. You didn't get the job, so what? There's a billion other jobs out there. This relationship didn't work out, so what? There's 5 million trillion, I don't even know how many people are in the world, but like, there are so many other people you could date, plenty of fish in the sea. Like, there is no end all be all. Something will work out for you, and we don't even know what it is yet, and that's the beauty of it. Just live life and look at life with love in your eyes, and talk to people with love in your heart, and it just becomes so much easier. I sound like such a hippie right now. I literally was gonna say I want to punch myself in the face, but I actually don't want to do that. See? Switching to positive affirmations. I want you guys to really practice like talking to yourself like someone you love, because when you operate through self-love, everyone else can feel that energy. You appear more confident, more positive, and when you truly love yourself, it's 1,000 times easier to project that love and that good energy to other people. Like, you don't even have to try. No matter how positive you are, you're never going to be invincible. So don't get discouraged if you have a bad day or you catch yourself feeling sad. Like, that doesn't make you a negative person, and that's the common misconception. Just because you're not happy or super positive 24/7, it doesn't mean you're negative. It doesn't make you a bad person. But again, it's about how you react to it. It's about how you come back from that. It's about how you accept and treat the people around you, even when you are going through something hard, but they're just trying to help you. I don't know how you guys felt about this episode. I like talking about mindset stuff a lot. I know you guys have been loving the glow up episodes, but this truly is all about a mental glow up, because positive energy and mindset, like, you will get nowhere in life without that. Yes, you could have all the physical things. You could have the dream body, the dream car, boyfriend, house, but that means nothing if you don't learn how to truly be happy with yourself. And I feel like people oftentimes, they look to other people or other things for the answer. You know, they look for friends to fill the void. They look for a significant other. They look for a distraction to fill the void of being alone. But once you become comfortable being alone with yourself and you're happy with yourself, you realize you don't need other people to make you feel happy. We are not meant to be energy suckers. Like, we're not supposed to take energy and love from other people. I know some people who they are like clinging on to other people like their lives depend on it. You will never be happy that way, because humans, you know, we're not meant to compensate for other people. We are meant to spread love universally, spread the good energy. And when you're depending on someone for their good energy and to keep you afloat, how are you supposed to spread your own positive energy yourself? I believe that wraps up today's episode, you guys. Again, take this all with a grain of salt. I know that there are so many other factors and obstacles that play into mental health and being happy, but that's just how I try my best to stay positive. Remember, whatever you guys are going through, I promise that it will get easier. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, even if it doesn't feel like it. There is a plan for you, and I promise it is bigger and better than you can ever imagine. I love you guys so, so much. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to join the group chat. I have the broadcast channel going where we could all chat on there. Follow at Hot and Unbothered. Add me on Snapchat because I'm trying to be more consistent on there, and I really want my girlies on there. So go add me on Snap. Let's be friends. My socials are Brianna Gomez with 2 B's. Don't forget to follow the podcast and leave a review for the chance to be featured in next week's episode. I love you guys so, so much with all my heart, truly. Treat yourself nicely. Show yourself some love. Show other people some love. I will see you guys next Bri-day. Love you. Bye. Mwah.